Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, Jeff, Mario Fratto.
Oh, hi, Mr. Fratto. How are you?
Good.
Good. You're in Geneva, right?
Yep, in Geneva.
Okay. Not Switzerland, the one in New York.
No, yeah, the one down here. It's still just as pretty, though. Nice area.
Right in the Finger Lakes there. And, of course, you're running for Congress, and you're running in a primary on June, help me with the date there, June
25th. Tuesday, June 25th.
And that's you and
Claudia
Congresswoman,
Tenney.
Claudia Tenney, our incumbent Congresswoman in the 24th District, which goes from Watertown to Lockport or something?
Yeah, now it goes even further, so it's going all the way. They added more towns in Niagara County. The genius Democrats there decided they wanted to make the district go more west, more south, more north, and more east. So the district has grown from 12 counties to 14 counties.
Wow.
And it runs all the way to the city limits of Niagara Falls, up to Fort Niagara there in Lewiston, Youngstown out in Niagara County. So it's just massive.
Yeah, it is. So you're running in this primary for the Republican nomination. Who has the conservative nomination right now? Anybody?
I think she has it on a state level. I was endorsed by a county, Orleans County Conservative Party. Last time I got a couple county conservative parties, but the state has just always, they kind of go with whoever the GOP backs.
Yeah. Well, how's your campaign going?
Great. I mean, look, last time we ran the best race in the country, dollar for dollar. We were the only candidate over 500 plus in these races that got 40% of the vote with only $100,000. We were outspent like 14-1. I think she spent 1.4 against us to our 100K. And there was a three-way race. Now we're heads up, and we've been running for since October. Feeling really good. The people are excited. I think that the biggest problem we have right now in the Republican Party is that people like Claudia Tenney tend to vote a lot with the Democrats, and it's too much. Maybe once in a while there could be something, but when it's almost 50% of the times, she has a 56% Liberty score, which is an F grade, which basically means she votes 44% on key votes with Democrats. And I think that's the problem in our party, that we're so divided, and half the party is basically Democrats.
Now, obviously, a district of that size requires, no matter how you slice it, a fair amount of money to run.
Sure.
And you've got like $450,000 you've put into the race or something?
Yes. Yep. That's correct.
Of your own money, your loan. That's a lot of your own money.
So, it's borrowed money, but I mean, it's all on my financials reports, But
why would you borrow money?
Put in any.
Why would you borrow money and put that much into a race that's, the prospects are mixed? I don't know.
I believe we're going to win.
Really?
I think that's what it takes, and it's something that you have to really believe in, and you have to put some skin in the game. And I think that's what President Trump did, and that's why people really, it was basically the same thing where people were saying, oh, you got a 50-50 shot or whatever, and he put in, actually put up instead of just take everybody else's money. I think that's the problem in this country, that these people are backed by corporations. Like Tenney, she's backed by Google and Pfizer and Lockheed Martin and Verizon and T-Mobile, and it really doesn't give people confidence that their representative is representing them. They feel like they're representing these corporations, and that's what you see with her voting record and so many like her. Every time it comes to, it could be an issue as simple as she was the deciding vote on warrantless spying on U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
It failed because of one vote. If you would have polled this district, 90% of the district would have said, we don't want them to spy on us without a warrant. But she votes for that because the money she's getting, whether it's from a party who will jump into the primary and defend her and say, look, you want us to help you beat this guy, vote the way we tell you. We don't give a damn about what your constituents want.
But
you want to keep your job.
Yeah, looking over the financial reports, which are public record, you've got like $250,000 in student loan and credit card debt. Is that? And $50,000 in debt from the last campaign. I mean, that's a lot of debt to incur on a race that you may or may not win.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and also you list your assets there, you can see that for yourself, but I think it's important that people do disclose that stuff and say that they're actually trying to win. They're actually trying to do something, and not just people like her who, I think they put an article out in Syracuse. She spent $100,000 in campaign donations on her own businesses. So instead of in a case like mine where I will put in my own money, she's taking money that people donated to her, renting office space for her campaign, advertising in a newspaper that she owns. You know, $100,000.
Now, what newspaper does she own?
Like me, it's called the Norwich. I think it's the Mid York Press.
Where's that?
Company. It's down in like Shenango County.
Oh, okay. Now
her family's business.
Now you're a lawyer, aren't you?
I was for 5 years. Yep.
You're not anymore?
Taking over my family business. I'm still a licensed attorney, but I don't practice.
Oh, well, why not? There's good money in that.
Well, and my dad got sick. I have a family business that's been in our family for 3 generations, and I'm the one of the brothers out of us that actually went to school. And
it's a paving business, isn't it?
Law. It's curbing. Granite curbing.
Yep. Okay, that's right, granite curbing.
And I think that's important, too, because, Claudia says that people like me aren't qualified, and that sounds just like what Hillary Clinton said about President Trump. He's not qualified. It's too high of an office. You need people like me. And my response is the same as President Trump's was, is that if you had all these answers, why aren't you doing it? Why hasn't Claudia Tenney passed a bill in her entire time in Congress? Like nothing's been signed into law. The only thing she does is push a button to vote yes or no. And when she's pushing yes, it's for money for illegals. It's for taxpayer-funded sex changes. It's for amnesty. It's for red flag laws. I mean, she's literally one of the worst Republicans in the entire House. It's just disgraceful.
I know you're obviously running a campaign that highly focused on attacking her, and that's politics. I get that. Obviously, she is not reluctant to attack you.
I wouldn't say, Jeff, if I could, I would say that it's not on attacking her. It's just disclosing her public voting record, just like you wanted to do my finance, whatever. This is just public information. And my point is, if it's a negative campaign to disclose the way your representative's representing you, then maybe you shouldn't run for office. If I say this is what she voted for and it's considered an attack, then that means she's taking really bad votes.
Yeah.
She should be proud of it and should debate me and say, yes, I voted for taxpayer-funded sex changes.
Well, what about, since you're a lawyer at one point in your life, any thoughts on the whole Trump trial down in Manhattan?
It was a disgrace. It was absolutely shameful. It was obviously political. There's lawyers right now that are still trying to figure out how he was actually convicted of these things and what he was actually charged with. And they've used all sorts of theories to get there. And I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious that if he wasn't running and he wasn't doing as well as he is in the polls, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
If they thought he was going to get crushed, maybe they wouldn't do this. Maybe. But the fact of the matter is they know he's going to win, and this is the only thing they feel they can do. And I think, again, personal attacks. And
I don't know what I don't know what aspect of law you practice, but we've got that other trial that started this week in Wilmington, Delaware, with Hunter Biden. Granted, he's not running for president, but he gets to ride on Air Force One all the time. And I'm wondering, in a small community like Wilmington, 70,000 people, small state like that where everybody knows the Bidens, is there any way in God's green earth that you could find 12 people willing to convict him, given the retribution that they would face in the community?
Absolutely not. And likewise, it's the same thing what they did to Trump. You took a area of the country where, he's getting single digit votes and, percentage wise, and you pull these jurors in the thing and, think that he's going to get a fair shake. It's the same way. You basically have it in reverse here where there's no way that they're going to go against the Bidens. And I think that's the entire point. And that's what people are fed up with, Jeff. It comes down to this, that there's people that are in power that abuse it, right? That you do anything they can to stay there. And the little guy, the outside people have everything up against them. And the American people are starting to wake up to that. And it's just like this race. Like you said, I'm attacking Claudia's record. She's attacking me personally, talking about my wife, my grandfather, saying, what kind of father I am, messaging people, saying horrible things, saying I don't have compassion or integrity, all personal attacks.
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but you do have some.
It's all in the papers. I mean, you can read it.
Yeah. Well, things don't get covered much up here, but.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
Yeah. We only represent about 10% of the district within the sound of my voice, so it's not a big deal in that sense, but tell me, you've got events up in this area. You want to tell us about them?
Yeah, so we were just up in Watertown on the 2nd, and we're going to be coming back. And I'm just going to pull up my calendar to make sure I have these right. But I know I'm going to be up in, I believe, Clayton on the 11th. Let me just make sure that's, yeah, so I'll be at Frink Park in Clayton at 6 p.m. on the 11th. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be back in Watertown at 6 p.m. On this Monday, the 17th, at the Italian American Civic Association.
Okay.
That club.
Sure.
We're having an event there. So, yeah, Clayton on the 11th.
Okay.
And Watertown on the 17th. And looking forward to meeting people. And I think, our message is really resonating. And people are just, they're sick of people saying one thing and doing another. And that's basically what a politician has become synonymous with.
Gotcha.
If they break promises, and it's unfortunate that with the money that does come into play, it's so hard to get rid of people. And as I was saying about staying in power, they have these privileges where they can send mail, they can run TV ads, all on taxpayer money with the franking privilege, which says it's just an official House funds for communication up to 60 days before the election. So until April 25th, the whole 6 months we were running, running TV and sending mail. And it's like, how do you, what a machine.
Mr. Fratto, I do have to go now, but when you're up in the area, feel free to stop by, or certainly Glenn's show at 5 o'clock if that fits your schedule. Okay?
You got it. MarioForCongress.com. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's Mario Fratto from Geneva, who's running in the Republican primary for Congress against Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. And certainly, we'd love to have the Congresswoman on, either in person or by phone. And that'd be great. Be glad to have her here. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Jeff.
Okay, what's up?
Nothing. I'm just driving through Henderson, taking a nice ride, coming back from Canada. Had a nice day up there. Boy, I'll tell you, the prices are great up there. Two breakfast combos and an iced coffee for $8.
Okay. Well, that's great. I'm glad Canada's doing well.
Yeah, so, hey, when does that equal time thing kick in? That was my main question. Is that like a certain amount of time before the elections?
60 days before a general, 45 before a primary is my recollection, but it depends on the circumstances.
Oh, is that right?
It's not an absent.
It would kick you off, when you were running, and I just wondering how that runs.
Well,
what is the reason of that? Do you know? I mean, is there something like people complain and so they made that a law or something?
No, it was part of the Communications Act of 1934 and Section 315, I believe. So
it's memory, man. I'll tell you, you still amaze me. All right, Jeff.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, 755-1240 is the phone number. We will be back with more in a moment. Well, if you're going to win these races, I guess you got to go negative or something. But wow. That's very negative there, and going after them. But, that's what it is. I mean, scouring campaign finance reports. The other caller who called in or asked about equal opportunity and time and all of that, it's something any good broadcaster is, aside from the statute, is committed to. The idea that we're going to provide, a fair shot to everybody. And I think we try to do that here. Now, if somebody comes on and the other person doesn't want her, that's not my fault. I don't have to not give it to one person because the other person refuses. But there isn't certainly a moral as well as legal obligation to reach out to everybody. So we reach out. It's kind of different with these congressional races now. It used to be for years and years and years, we were always in one congressional district, the North Country District. Now Jefferson County is split. So we're no longer the biggest, media center and everything. We're split between some of my listeners are in the 21st. Most of my listeners are in the 24th. And, same thing with Channel 7. You used to be by Channel 7, you get all of the U.S. coverage area was in the North Country District. That's not true anymore. So, the way people campaign changes a little bit, but that's above my pay grade, man. I don't understand all that. We're glad to have candidates for any race on here. Any race. Right here on the News and Talk Authority. Okay?